why does good sex so often fade, even for couples who continue to love each other as much as ever? And why does good intimacy not guarantee good sex, contrary to popular belief? Or why does good sex so often fade, even for couples who continue to love each other as much as ever?
Why does good sex continue to fail, even if why does good sex so often fade, even for couples who continue to love each other as much as ever?
And why does good intimacy not guarantee good sex, contrary to popular belief?
Why does good intimacy not guarantee good sex, contrary to popular belief?
Or the next question would be, can we want what we already have?
And the next question is, can we want what we already have?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
That's a million-dollar question, right?
And why is the forbidden so erotic? What is it about transgression that makes desire so potent?
Why is the forbidden so erotic? So that's supporting transgression. Transgression. Suppose you have committed this transgression, analysis is a period marked by a fascination. Transgression. What is about transgression that makes desire so potent?
And why does sex make babies and babies spell erotic disaster in couples?
And why does sex make babies and babies spell erotic disaster? Babies spell disaster. Serious problem. Spell disaster. And babies spell. Why does sex make babies and babies spell erotic disaster and couples?
It's kind of the fatal erotic blow, isn't it?
It's kind of the fatal erotic blow, isn't it?
And when you love, how does it feel?
And when you love, how does it feel?
When you desire, how is it different?
And when you desire, how is it different?
These are some of the questions that are at the center of my exploration.
These are some of the questions that are at the center of our exploration.
On the nature of erotic desire.
On the nature of erotic desire.
And its concomitant dilemmas in modern love.
And its concomitant dilemmas in modern love. Concomitant dilemmas. Something that happens with something else and is connected to it. Concomitant dilemmas. Loss of memories and natural concomitant dilemmas. And concomitant dilemmas in modern love.
So I traveled the globe, and what I'm noticing is that everywhere where romanticism has entered, there seems to be a crisis of desire.
So I travel the globe, and what I'm noticing is that everywhere where romanticism has entered, there seems to be a crisis of desire. Crisis of desire. Romanticism has entered. There's a crisis of desire.
A crisis of desire, as in owning the wanting.
A crisis of desire, as in owning the wanting.
Desire as an expression of our individuality,
A desire as an expression of our individuality,
of our free choice, of our preferences, of our identity.
of our choice, of our preferences, of our identity.
Desire that has become a central concept as part of modern love and individualistic societies.
Desire has become a central part as part of modern love and individualistic society.
Now, this is the first time in the history of humankind
And this is the first time in the history of humankind
where we are trying to experience sexuality in the long term,
where we are trying to experience sexuality in the long term,
not because we want 14 children for which we need to have even more because
not because we want 14 children in which we need to have even more,
many of them won't make it,
because many of them won't make it,
and not because it is exclusively a woman's marital duty.
and not because that is exclusively a woman's marital duty.
This is the first time that we want sex over time about pleasure and connection that is rooted in desire.
This is the first time that we want sex over time, about pleasure and connection that is rooted in desire.
So what sustains desire and why is it so difficult?
So, what sustains desire? What sustains desire, and why is it so difficult?
And at the heart of sustaining desire in a committed relationship,
And at the heart of sustaining a desire in a committed relationship,
I think is the reconciliation of two fundamental human needs.
I think is the reconciliation of two fundamental human needs.
On one hand, our need for security,
On the one hand, our need for security,
for predictability,
for predictability,
for safety,
for safety,
for dependability,
for dependability,
for reliability,
for reliability,
for permanence. All these anchoring, grounding experiences of our lives that
all these anchoring, grounding experiences of our lives
we call home.
we call home, that we call home.
But we also have an equally strong need, men and women,
But we also have equally strong need, men and women,
for adventure, for
for adventure,
novelty,
for novelty,
for mystery,
for mystery,
for risk,
for
for
risk,
danger,
for
for the
danger,
unknown,
for
for
the-
the unexpected,
for the
surprise.
surprise.
You get the gist.
You get the gist. You get the gist. The ground of a legal session.
Concomitant. Gist.
You get the gist.
For journey, for travel. So reconciling our need for security and our need for adventure into
Reconciling our need to adventure and need to security, our need for security, need to adventure
one relationship,
into one relationship,
or what we today like to call a passionate marriage,
or what we today like to call a passionate marriage. Passionate marriage. Passionate marriage. After 12 years of being couples around the world, passionate marriage is being released.
Used to be a contradiction in terms.
Used to be a contradiction in terms.
Marriage was an economic institution
Marriage was an economic institution
in which you were given a partnership for life
in which you are given a partnership for life
terms of children and social status
in terms of children, social status,
and succession and companionship. But now we want our partner to still give us all these things.
but now we want our partners still to give us all these things.
But in addition, I want you to be my best friend and
But in addition, I want you to be my best
my
friend
trusted confidant and my
and my trusted confidant
passionate lover to boot, and we live
and passionate lover to boot,
twice as long.
and we live twice as long. To boot. What the? Passion lover, passion what? Passion lover to boot.
So we come to one person and we basically are asking them to give
And so we come to one person and basically are asking them
us what once an entire village used to provide.
and give us what once an entire village used to provide.
Give me belonging, give me identity, give me continuity, but give me transcendence and mystery and all in one.
Give me transcendence and mystery and all in one.
Give me comfort, give me edge, give me novelty, give me familiarity.
Give me comfort, give me edge. Give me novelty, give me familiarity.
Give me predictability, give me surprise. And we think it's a given, and toys and lingerie are going to save us with that.
And we think it's a given, and toys and lingerie are gonna save us with that. That's a given is the basic fact that you accept as being true. It's a sure thing that you don't need to prove it. That's a given. When someone says something that's obvious, that's a given. The phrase was invented by me before rising into popularity. Final Fantasy is fourth is the best game ever. That's a given. That's a given. That's a given. That's a given. And we think that's a given. And toys and lingerie are gonna save us with that.
So now we get to the existential reality of this story, right?
So now we get to the existential reality of the story, right?
Because I think in some way, and I'll come back to that, but the crisis of desire is often a crisis of the imagination. So
The crisis of desire is the crisis of imagination. I'll get back to that. So I think I'll crisis.
why does good sex so often fade? What is the relationship
Why does the good sex often fade?
between love and desire?
What is the relationship between love and desire?
How do they relate and how do they conflict?
How do they relate and how do they conflict?
Because therein lies the mystery of eroticism.
Because there lies therein lies, because therein lies the mystery of there lies in the therein lies the mystery of eroticism.
So if there is a verb for me that comes with love, it's
So if there is a verb for me that comes with love,
to have.
it's to have.
And if there is a verb that comes with desire, it is to want.
And if there's a verb that comes with the desire, it is to want. That comes with the desire, it is to want. Have.
In love, we want to have. We want to know the beloved.
In love, we want to have. We want to know. We want to be loved. We want to know the beloved.
We want to minimize the distance. We want
to minimize distance.
to contract that gap.
We want to contract that gap.
We want to neutralize the tensions.
We want to neutralize the tension.
We want closeness.
We want closeness.
But in desire, we tend to not really want to go back to the places we've already gone.
In desire, we tend to not really want to go back to the places we've already gone.
Foregone conclusion does not keep our interest.
Foregone conclusion does not keep our interest.
In desire, we want an other, somebody on the other side that we
In desire, we want another, somebody on the other side
can go visit,
that you can go visit,
that we can go spend some time with,
that we can go spend some time with,
that we can go see what goes on in their red light district.
that we can go see what goes on in the red light district.
You know, in desire, we want a bridge to cross, or
In desire, we want to bridge it to cross. We want to bridge it to cross.
in other words, I sometimes say fire needs air.
In other words, I sometimes say fire needs air.
Desire needs a space.
Desire needs space.
And when it's said like that, it's often quite abstract. But then I took a question.
And when it's said like this, it's often quite abstract. But then I took a question with me,
And I've gone to more than 20 countries in the last few years with
and I've gone to more than 20 countries in the last few years
mating in captivity.
with mating in captivity.
And I ask people, when do you find yourself most drawn to your partner?
When do you find yourself most drawn to your partner?
Not attracted sexually per se, but
Not attracted sexually per se, but
most drawn.
most drawn.
And across culture, across religion, and across gender,
Across cultures, across religion, and across gender,
except for one, there are a few answers that just keep coming back.
there are few answers just keep coming back.
So the first group is, I am most drawn to my partner
The first group is I am most drawn to my partner
when she's away,
when she's awake, when she's away,
when we are apart,
when we are apart,
when we reunite.
when we reunite.
Basically, when I get back in touch with my ability to imagine
Basically, when I get back in touch with my ability to imagine
myself with my partner, when
myself with my partner,
imagination comes back in the picture,
when my imagination come back with the picture,
and when I can root it in absence and in longing.
and when I can root it in absence and in longing,
Which is a major component of desire.
which is a major component of desire.
But then the second group is even more interesting. I am
But then the second group is even more interesting.
most drawn to my partner when I see him in the studio.
I'm most drawn to my partner when I see him in the studio.
when she's on stage,
when she's on stage,
when he's in his element,
when he is in his element. Is doing what enjoy in his element. He's in his element when he's doing woodwork in his element when he's in his element.
when she's doing something she's passionate about,
When she's doing something she's passionate about.
when I see him at a party and other people are really drawn to him,
When I see him at a party and other people are really drawn to him.
when I see her hold court,
When I see her hold court. Be surrounded by commanded attention of admirers. Whole court. See a whole court.
basically when I look at my partner,
Basically, when I look at my partner,
radiant and confident,
what? Radiant and confident. Radiant and confident. A radiant smile. Confident.
probably the biggest turn on across the board.
Because probably the biggest turn on across the board. Across the board, place to win, a competitor wins.
Radiant as in self-sustaining.
Radiant as in self-sustaining.
I look at this person. By the way, in desire, people rarely talk about it when we are blended into 5 centimeters from each other. I don't know in inches how much that.
By the way, in desire, people rarely talk about it. When we are blended into 5 centimeters from each other, I don't know inches how much that is.
It is. But it's also not when the other person is that far apart that you no longer see them.
But it's also not when the other person is that far apart that you no longer see them.
It's when I'm looking at my partner from a comfortable distance.
It's when I'm looking at my partner from a comfortable distance.
Where this person that is already so familiar,
where this person is already so familiar,
so known, is momentarily once again somewhat mysterious,
is momentarily once again somewhat mysterious,
somewhat elusive. And in this space between me and the other lies
in this space between me and the other,
the erotic elan,
it lies electric elan.
It's that movement toward the other.
It lies the movement toward the other.
Because sometimes, as Proust says,
sometimes Proust says,
mystery is not about traveling to new places, but it's about looking with new eyes.
Mystery is not about traveling to new places, it's about looking with new eyes.
And so when I see my partner on his own or her own,
so when I see my partner on his own or her own,
doing something in which they are enveloped, I look at this person and I momentarily get a shift in perception.
I look at this person and I'm able to get a shift in perception.
And I stay open to the mysteries that are living right next to me.
And I stay open to the mysteries that are living right next to me.
And then more importantly, in this description
about
the other or myself, it's the same. What is most interesting is that there is no neediness in desire.
What's the most interesting is that there's no neediness in desire.
Nobody needs anybody.
Nobody needs anybody.
There is no caretaking in this.
There's no caretaking in desire.
Caretaking is mightily loving.
Caretaking is mightily loving.
It's a powerful anti-aphrodisiac.
Oh man.
It's a powerful anti-aphrodisiac.
And Afro.
Aphrodisiac.
Aphrodisiac. Also, aphrodisiac. Caretaking is mightily loving.
I've yet to see somebody who is so turned on by somebody who needs them.
I have yet to see somebody who is so turned on by somebody who needs them.
Wanting them is one thing.
Wanting them is one thing.
Needing them is a shutdown, and
Needing them is shut down, and
women have known that forever, because anything that will bring up parenthood will usually decrease the erotic charge.
needing them is a shutdown, and women have known that forever, because anything that'll bring up parenthood will usually decrease the erotic charge. I have yet to see somebody who is so turned on by someone who needs them. Wanting them is one thing. Needing them is a shutdown. And women have known that forever, because anything that that'll bring up parenthood will usually decrease the erotic charge.
For good reasons, right? And then the third group of answers usually would be